Hey all, John here again from Info Hut. Today's tutorial is on how to replace an iPhone 6 broken screen. This is a very easy actual replacement to do, so by all means let's get started. First you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver, a Pentalobe screwdriver, a non-conductive spudger, and a metal pry tool. You'll obviously need a replacement screen, and you can get screens and tool kits relatively cheap from the link below. Okay, step 1. Turn off your iPhone. Step 2. With a Pentalobe screwdriver, unscrew the two bottom screws. I've also provided a link to a screw chart below, so just print that out, and with the screw chart you can put the screws in the correct location so you don't lose where they're supposed to be. Okay, the next step is the suction cup. Now be careful when you open it. To open it that way, as there's cables still connected at the top. As you can see, that comes up easy. Now you're going to see 5 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws, and you need to remove them. And you just remove this metal plate, and remember, don't forget to use a screw chart so you know where all the screws go. Now this is a fairly easy part. Disconnect these cables, and there's one under as well, using a non-conductive spudger, even a skewer if you don't have the spudger. So you go 1. These disconnect like Lego blocks. 2, 3, and there's another one under there, 4, and they come off easy. Now, most likely with the replacement screen kit you've got, you just can't put the new screen back on because you've got stuff like, and I'm just going to move the actual iPhone to the side, you've got stuff like the ear speaker, the home button, the back metal plate, and a few other things that we need to transfer over to the new screen. So what we do is, the first step is, remove everything. So, what I'll do is I'll move this closer to the camera so you guys can see. Remove with a Phillips head screwdriver the relevant screws for the actual earpiece. So you'll see 1, 2 and 3. Remember to use your screw chart. And this metal plate will easily pop off. Now we'll remove our home button. Two Phillips head screws. As you can see, this is very easy. Two there. One's holding the plate, but there's actually two holding the home button down, so you've got one, two for the home plate, and then there's that third one which is holding this metal plate down. So remove this like so. Now what you need to do is disconnect the cable that connects the fingerprint sensor. Now be aware that you have to be careful with this. If you're not careful, you could damage the sensor, and by all means, if you do damage the sensor, you won't be able to replace it at all, because this is unique to your device. And it's simple, it pops up like a Lego piece once again. Now before I disconnect the home button, I want to take all the plates off, so we go to the next step, and that is removing this metal plate. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws there, and the 7th one which we've taken out before. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we have 6 all up. Very easy using a Phillips head. Okay, I'll just flip that around. Now what you do is you lift this metal plate and this cable is for this cable at the top here. Is fed through all the way down here, and I'll show you where it goes. Sometimes it's a bit stuck, and it just should flip up like that, and you'll see the adhesive at the bottom should slowly peel off. Now just be very careful once again. I mean, this part can be replaced, but just to save you a headache, you don't want to be breaking anything. So you put that metal plate aside. Now we'll remove this actual home button. This is stuck, so you can either use a hairdryer or a heat gun, or you can be very patient and slowly move across, and it should lift up, but I mean very patient. It always doesn't hurt to heat it up a bit. It makes the adhesive a bit looser, but in this case, as it's summer here, it's not on too tight. Okay, and we just pop that up like that. Now this can be a bit tricky, but just remember to slowly put pressure around evenly, and you'll see the button pop up like so. It's very hard to do this in front of the camera, sorry guys if this looks a bit awkward. Be very, very careful with this part here. This is very easily damaged and you want to avoid damaging it. And there we go. So almost everything has been taken off. Now what we do is we remove the ear speaker from the top, and I'll just show you. These all easily come off, and they disconnect like almost like they're Lego pieces as well. So don't worry if this seems a bit daunting. And you'll see that they have their own slots that they go back into. You slowly move around the mic part here, as once again, because it's a flex cable, they're delicate and you need to be very, very careful with them. And as you can see, the whole mic and camera and sensor piece have come off. Now there's a little cap on that, and I'm just going to show you there. Sometimes that falls off, so just remember how it looks and feel free to put that back on. Now, you won't have to re-stick things back onto the new screen as they just actually slot back in place, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, now, with your new screen, and obviously in my demonstration I don't have a new screen, I'm just using the original one. You do everything in reverse, and for those that aren't confident, I'll show you how to do everything in reverse now. So once again, you get your new screen, and it doesn't matter where you start. I do prefer to start at the actual top and then work my way down. Now what I'll show you what I mean by not having to stick the things back on is that at the back here it originally was adhesive, and now you'll see that they just slot perfectly back in place. It's a lot easier than the iPhone 5S, and it's good to see Apple have made things a bit easier for repairers as such. So what you do is you put everything on where it should go. So I'm going to show you. The mic will go here, the sensor will go there, and the camera will go here. And if you do it all correctly, which it's very hard to do in front of a camera, it should just slot in perfectly without any headaches whatsoever. Putting the ear speaker back. And once again, my bad. You just have to slide that in. But make sure, and this is why I put this cable first, that that mic stays down there. And there we go, you'll see it sit perfectly. Now the next step, putting back the plate. Very easy, because they're Phillips head screws. Nothing really to it when you use your screw chart and then follow the screw placements accordingly. Now, this is one thing that other tutorials don't show you to double check. Make sure your camera is lined up correctly. And what I mean by lined up correctly is the camera should be in the middle here. So, in this case it is. Next step, let's move over to putting the back plate on. Now, this cable here, please take note, it goes in between this and this. So what you need to do is just lift the first one and then slide it in like that. Very easy, nothing too tricky. And then what you do is you make sure that you slide it above the teeth there. And then we get those 7 screws in total, 6 around the outside, and we put them back in. Now the next step, the home button, which is fairly simple. Everything should slot back into place. Now, this cable has to fold over and go onto here. Very easy, and it clicks like a Lego piece. Now the button should stick fairly by itself, as it still has adhesive underneath it. And then we put this back on. Oops. Make sure you put everything the right way. Remember this little square to the left. Now once that plate is connected, you can now reconnect your iPhone replacement screen back in place. So we just do everything in reverse once again, and watch how each cable goes in its correct place. So we got this one, and we have 2, and just do it in this order as well, and we have 3, and then we put the 4th one in. Now please make sure they're all flush and connected. As you could see, that one popped up a bit, so just push again without pulling on that cable. Just hold it at a right angle. Okay, now before you put the metal plate back on and close everything, you need to test the screen, see if your screen works. Make sure you haven't damaged or it even could be faulty. I highly doubt that, but just double check. So what you do is turn your phone on. So wait till it loads up, and there's 2 things I want you to test. The first is the touch screen, so make sure everything works fine. As you can see, it does. And then the most important thing, because you have disconnected it, test to see that your fingerprint scanner works. So once you know that's working again, turn it off, and then continue with your repair. So the final steps are putting this plate back on, and it just goes down like that. Clicks on very easy, unlike the previous models. They used to be a bit more tedious and takes a bit to get used to, but rest the actual screen in the palm of your right hand like this. With your thumb, hold the plate down and then put in your first screw. Once you put in your first screw, that's fine. You can just make sure you hold this. And they will all click in place. The long screw goes on the top right, or as you can see here, and now all we do is, and this is a little trick that all iPhones are the same, you'll see at the bottom there's teeth here. Now those teeth go under the frame. A lot of people try to put them on flat and then close it, but if you just put the little teeth under the locking position and then you push just slightly so it's flush, and then you slowly push down around the edges. Don't ever push in the middle, around the edges, and if you're doing it right, it just clicks in place like so. Okay, now, and it should sit flush, as you can see. And then what you do is the final 2 screws with the Pentalobe screwdriver, you put them back in. And my screwdriver's lost magnetism, so it's going to be looking as though it's very awkward to do, but there we go, I've just remagnetized it. And the second one. And there we go. This repair took 30 minutes on the video. Everything works fine, obviously, but in reality it should only take you about 15 to 20 minutes. The three main components that you need are obviously the replacement screen, 2, the screwdrivers and the correct tools, and 3, the actual screw chart that you print out, and then you make sure that you haven't lost the screws or you haven't put the wrong screws in the wrong places. The kit and the screen can be purchased from Amazon in the link below. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. By all means, feel free to upvote, as it does help me and gives me the confidence to make more videos. Thank you. Bye.